What's going on, everybody? It is Jeff and Justin here, the Frustrated Rock Stars, and this week our guest, Mr. Eric Von Haessler from the Regular Guys Show in Atlanta, Rock 100.5. We are the Atlanta Brewing Company, of course, enjoying some Red Brick beer.
Absolutely.
And we thank them so much for having us.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Tonight's headline is going to be politics and rock. We're going to talk about some of the musicians that are outwardly or openly political, Republican, Democrat, whatever. And we'll see what Eric Von Haessler thinks about that, because he's very political.
Yes. I just laughed because I'm thinking about Republican, like, rock stars. I'm trying to think of some. But I know they do exist.
They're there.
No, I know. They do exist.
We'll get to, and there's some good ones, too.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, we'll get to
touch
that.
on that.
But first, let's check out the opening act. All right, tonight's opening act is another digital music story.
Here it comes again.
Google is teaming up with the major record labels to make it easier for you to search and buy music.
They're doing anything they can to make money.
I know, Google is like, they want to get their hands on everything.
They've been so smart, and I don't know a whole lot about what they're doing with music, but if it follows what they've done well, they've done some things not so well, but the things they've done well up to now is understanding that the internet is about aggregation of information. If you want news, go to Google News.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all aggregated. And I don't know this to be true, but I would imagine if it's Google, what they'll do is they will aggregate all the different places that you can download music from in one place, so you can go there as a central source.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. It's kind of a new announcement. They are actually partying with record labels where, yeah, I guess if you search music or you search an artist, they'll have a special place where it'll be easy. It'll be like one click, you go buy it.
Right.
Instead of this go to, who knows where you're going to go buy the
Well, they had
music.
to do it because of the dwindling sales.
I download a lot of stuff off of Amazon now because it's a little bit cheaper and it opens up in iTunes. But for Amazon, you need an Amazon downloader. For iTunes, you need to have the program iTunes.
And I'm a Zune guy. I do Zune.
If you have Zune, that's going to be, by the way, you're the first person who's ever said those words to me. I'm a Zune guy. But if you have a Zune, there's software for that. So if you aggregate and go to one spot, how does that help me if I don't have the software? I'm a little confused.
I guess they're going to have all the options to where, okay, I do this, that, or got nothing, click here. I mean, who knows?
But you're going to have to still download some sort of stuff. It can't be in the cloud.
All the record labels are trying to do is to make it easier for you to download it.
Right.
Why don't they make better music where I will go buy the CD or I will go download it on my own? I mean,
Because nowadays people
is this really going to help them? Making it one
people
step
don't need
easier.
a tactile CD anymore. They just want to download the song. It's on their iPod. It's on their desktop. It's wherever. People don't buy CDs anymore.
I used to. I mean, I don't.
$18.99 for 12 songs.
But if you're that savvy, you already know how to go download it in iTunes or Zune or whatever.
Isn't this really? I mean, getting to your question. I mean, this is the slow death of record labels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're trying to hang on. The download phenomenon is something that they just discovered 2 years ago.
Right.
It's been going on since, with the really early adopters, the late 90s. And that's what Steve Jobs, who's always ahead of the curve, understood before the record labels or anyone else.
So now I guess the record
People
label
will pay if you're giving them something to pay for.
If you give them something.
Right.
Well, I guess the record
value.
labels are just trying. They're trying to partner with Google, and of course, I'm sure Google's going to get a little cut of every song that goes through them.
You could YouTube any song and hear it.
Yeah,
Right.
But you're not going to have
But
it
you're
on
not going to
quality.
own it.
You can't burn a CD. You
quality.
can't do this.
But if
and
you
that.
want to hear it,
Right.
just YouTube it.
Well,
That's
I think it's not really going to help the record labels. All right, let's move on to tonight's headliner. All right, our headliner tonight is a little political discussion, but not like you'd see on Hannity or
I was going to say.
or whatever. We want to talk rock and roll. So what about politics?
Nixon!
What about
wrong.
politics and music?
Sure.
Should they mix? Is it good when they mix?
For me, as a music listener, as a person at the show, I came to the show because I want to get away from the world. I read the papers every day. I follow the world. I have my opinions. I want to go to a rock show for 2.5, 3 hours and I'm sorry.
Escapism.
I want to escapism. I want to forget
Entertainment,
the same reason I walk into a movie. I want to forget there's a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. I want to forget there's a jihad against my country. I want to forget about all of this sort of stuff. I want to forget that the country's split in half and everybody hates each other for 2.5, 3 hours. And sometimes when all of a sudden, and there's nothing worse when you're enjoying a show. This happens with the Flaming Lips because I don't go to many shows. I'll always go.
Flaming Lips fan.
Yes, I'll always go to a Flaming Lips show. And they suddenly started getting real political, and they hated Bush, and that's fine.
Of course.
But then I just went and saw them a few weeks ago, and they were great. but they were still complaining about Bush. He hasn't been president since January.
So it's not necessarily like songs, content about.
No, it's the guy talking.
The guy talking in between songs,
right.
making a speech.
Well, I think Bono is probably the biggest example of that.
I just saw them a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
He sells 80,000 tickets,
That's right.
and everybody wants to hear as many U2 songs as they can.
Right.
And he's got to spend 40 minutes of the show talking about.
I sort of defend Bono in the sense that you really know what you're getting with Bono. I mean, he really is two different public entities. He's this crusader on one hand, this guy who will probably win the Nobel Prize one day and all that, and he's also
Technically, he'd probably deserve it more than Obama.
I deserve it more than Obama. But you're right. He certainly.
We just
does.
got political.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe he'll be the biggest peacemaker of all time one day, but just not yet. But
did he do that at the show?
Yeah,
did
there
he
was
do
a lot of there was
and it's hard to talk in a stadium.
I say if it's in a song, that's fine, but to stop and talk.
No, they do video demonstrations.
So you two can do more than the Flame Lips and just have a guy talking. You two can have talking.
Yes. Oh yeah, and you're texting in favor of this and whatever.
They do that.
They do that whole
interaction.
They put your picture up there if you gave money. But the thing is, it's a small part of the show.
You bring a canned good and get to hear.
One thing I have to say about Bono is he is full of himself, there's no doubt. But he genuinely wants to help.
Yeah.
And for that reason, he knows Republicans have money and he wants their money. And he does not.
He plays the game.
He does not go up there and go after you and say, if you voted for this guy, you're an idiot. He goes up there and says, no matter how you feel on this issue or that issue, can't we all agree that children should not go starving?
I don't want that.
And you know you're going to get that. But on
a concert stage, I don't want that.
I've always wanted to ask, like, Michael Stipe. I'm a huge REM fan. I've often wanted to ask him, do you not want me? Like if you knew that I voted for Bush and I supported this or whatever, would it offend you that I paid for your music?
Because they don't do it like Bono. So Bono does it diplomatically.
Yeah, he's a politician in and of himself, and you know that going in. And, basically, U2 usually keeps it somewhat. I mean, it's about the music.
All right, good. Hey, there's a good political discussion. I mean, you can watch Hannity or you can watch us.
Sure. There you go.
So that about wraps up the show. Let's go backstage with our guest.
And here we are backstage. Sorry about the smell, but we're here with Eric Von Haessler, and we're going to hit him with his questions, and we're going to go EADGBE.
6 questions.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
each one represents a chord. Am I right? Am I fucking?
A string.
A string. What do I?
Every acid dealer gets busted eventually. All right. Here we go. All right. So let's start out. What's your favorite Mamas and Papas song?
I guess it would have to be California Dreaming, just because I don't know a whole lot of other ones.
All right. What was the last rock and roll book you read?
It was the one that. It was on the Flaming Lips, and I can't remember the name of it.
Jim and the Flaming Lips.
No, this is a great book, though. Jim DeRogatis, I think his name is. The Taste of Sound, or something like that.
All right, here we go with question D. Mr. Eric, what is in your CD player right now? Don't lie, be honest.
Well, I don't really have a CD player, but what I'm listening to in my iPod more than anything is the new Flaming Lips, because it just came out, Embryonic.
Question G. If the Beatles and Zeppelin were playing the same night, who would you see?
Oh, see the Beatles.
Question B. If you could only have 1 decade of Elton John music, what decade would it be?
So easy. What am I going to say? The 80s? No. The 90s, Tarzan? The 2000s? Come on, it's the 70s.
All right, last question. Question E. What albums have you bought in multiple formats?
Oh. Well, everything by the Beatles.
Every Beatle album.
From the Regular Guys show right here in Atlanta, Rock 100.5. Eric Von Haessler.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And you get the podcast, too, in Zune or iTunes. So.
Right there in Zune for the other person out there.
Yes,
Zune.
that's me. I'm the Zune downloader.
Somebody else, I'm sure somebody watching.
And, of course, you can email us info@thefrustratedrockstars.com. And once again, thank you for joining us from the Atlanta Brewing Company. Enjoy your music.